This is Jonah. Jonah was called by God to go and deliver a message to the people of Nineveh. God wanted Nineveh to repent from all the bad things they were doing. So when Jonah heard the message from God, he immediately went to the pier to catch a boat. The boat was the best place to get to Nineveh, except the boat he caught was not going towards Nineveh. The boat he caught was going towards Tarshish. And so the boat did what boats do and started sailing around in nice, peaceful, calm, sunny waters. Then the weather changed. The waves started to rise. Waves. And Jonah went to sleep in the hold. And the waves got worse, and the storm got heavy, and the sailors freaked out, and everything was just going crazy. The boat was starting to fall apart. Oh, that guy's down! Oh, that guy is down! And eventually, after a long time, the sailors tried to figure out what was going on. So they started casting lots to find out who was responsible for the horrible, horrible stormy weather. And the lots fell on Jonah. And so they went and woke him up. And Jonah's all like, if you throw me overboard, the storm will stop. I have upset my God. And they're all like, who's your God? And he's like, the God who made all of heaven and all of earth and all the seas and all the land. And you're like, well, why would you upset him? He seems important. And so the sailors took Jonah, said, dear God, please don't get upset at us. And then they flung him into the sea. And the storm stopped. And the seas calmed. And the sun came out. And the sailors praised God. I want you guys to appreciate I got wet for this. Filmmaking is not all glamour. And Jonah sank and sank and sank into the depths of the water. Got all sad. Oh, it's so sad. Until a giant sea fish got him. And he got eaten up. Whole. And Jonah hung out inside that fish for 3 days, which is a long time to be inside a smelly, gross fish guts. And after 3 days, Jonah prayed a prayer where he acknowledged that God was right and that he was wrong and that he was going to go do what God wanted him to do. So God told the fish to vomit Jonah onto dry ground. Blech. So Jonah went to Nineveh, which was a giant city, full of lots and lots of people. In fact, it was so big that it took 3 days to walk across. Big city. And as he went through there, he kept yelling, repent or be destroyed, repent or be destroyed, repent or be destroyed, repent or be destroyed. And the king of Nineveh said, oh man, that's a bad idea. That sounds bad. I don't want to be destroyed. So what we're going to do is we're going to repent. So they did. The people of Nineveh put on sackcloth and ashes, which is a way to show mourning back in the day, and repented. Said, God, we're sorry, and we won't do this anymore. And then God's like, cool. Then I'm not going to destroy you. And here's where the story gets interesting. Jonah got super mad at God. Because Jonah hated the Ninevites. And maybe they had done bad things. Maybe they called Jonah names. Maybe they said, hey, Jonah, you're funny smelling, and your mama wears funny clothes, which is rude. You should never make fun of someone's mama. So Jonah got really upset, and so went to the top of the hillside, overlooking the city, and pouted. And then God sent him a plant to cover him, because it was super hot out, and Jonah was like, oh man, this is nice. I can watch and pout in my nice shade. And then God set a worm to eat the bottom of the plant, and the plant withered. And then Jonah got super, super hot and wilty and tired, and he was like, oh, life is suffering. Oh, it's so sad. Oh, I don't want to be alive anymore. And then God talked to Jonah. He's like, did you make the plant? And Jonah's like, no. Do you miss the plant? And Jonah's like, yeah. And then God's like, yeah. So I made Nineveh. I made the people in it. And I would be totally sad if we had to destroy them all because they didn't repent. So get over yourself. I'm God. Stop whining. And that's where the story ends. It's a really weird story in that respect, in that the hero of the story, Jonah, or at least the main character of the story, is not very heroic. He starts the story by running away. He almost gets a ship full of people killed because he's running away. He gets thrown in the ocean and swallowed by a giant fish, and then takes 3 days to repent inside the fish, which is a long time. It's a long time to be in the guts of a fish, being all like, I don't want to go, I don't want to go. Anyway, and then he does his job. He finally does what God told him to do, and then he's not happy when God does what he said he would do, which is he would forgive the Ninevites. Jonah, man, what are you doing? So the lesson I want you guys to get from this is, first, when God tells you to do something, you shouldn't run away because, you know, he's God and you're not, and you shouldn't run away. You might get swallowed by a giant fish. It's probably not going to happen, but it might. You don't know. It's best to be safe. And then second, God is bigger than you think he is. And if your view of God is shiny, happy, huggy guy, that's not complete. And if your view of God is angry, fiery, smashy guy, that's also not complete, because he's God of justice and he's God of mercy. And following God can be hard because we're very small and he's very big, and it's hard to understand why he does what he does. But the main takeaway of the story is you got to trust God, because he loves us and he wants what's best for all of us. That's it. Have a wonderful week. Bye, KidZone.